You want to hear something really scary? You don't need supernatural entities, you don't need ghosts or boogeymen or anything like that. All you need is a few just slightly evil people. All you need is that one little spark that can set somebody off and create a chain reaction that can send your life spiraling into a never-ending hell. It begins innocently enough. When you post something innocuous onto a Facebook page or onto Twitter, or do something else completely banal and pointless, like updating your feed or something silly, just something you wouldn't even pay attention to in any other circumstances, but to you, who cares? This is all just a game. Your most private and intimate moments are just out there for the public to find and see. As somebody who spent pretty much every waking moment of his life online and who could do a complete chronology of his life's events just by reading old forum posts or his Facebook page, his MySpace page from back in the day, who can piece together every aspect of his life just by clicking a button on a computer. It doesn't go away, you realize. The stuff that you post, it's not like it's up there for a certain amount of time and then it just fades away and nobody ever bothers to bring it up except for you one day when you're randomly Google searching your name and you remember, oh, I signed up for that site there. Interesting stuff can happen after a while, though, because just because you don't know it's there doesn't mean others don't. And this is what I mean by just a small spark. The people who take this information and who find these old dead accounts with this old useless, outdated information, they don't want anything else as far as harming you personally, but to them, information is currency. They'll sometimes set it up as a prank, if you find yourself randomly getting an email from somebody who wants to give you a pill that'll make your penis 3,000 times bigger, or wants you to participate in some survey which ends up downloading some malware onto your computer. This is all relatively benign compared to what else could be out there. A few days ago, I was logging into an old page of mine, an old blogspot page, and I found a few articles that I hadn't written. I mean, sure, it had my name attached to them and everything, but these were from maybe about a month ago, and I haven't been on that page in years. The articles were very disturbing in nature. They weren't written in English. I couldn't understand them, but that's not what made them disturbing. What made them disturbing was the content I could understand, the scattered phrases that were in English, my name repeated multiple times, and the name of people that I knew also listed multiple times throughout the document. This thing was about 3 or 4 pages long when I copied it all into a Word document. When I clicked on the second or third article, I can't remember exactly what, but I remember seeing several photographs. And at first I thought nothing of them until I realized that these photographs were actually Google Earth aerial views of my neighborhood. One of them had actually been apparently copied into MS Paint or something like that and had a really crude circle drawn around it. I mean, they didn't even use the circle tool. It's like somebody just clicked and dragged the mouse around my house. This by itself was creepy enough until I remembered something odd that had been happening over the past couple of weeks. I've always been getting this one letter, and I think it's a bill and I throw it out. I know it's stupid, but it's some address out there in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I don't know anybody in North Carolina. But I found one of those letters shortly after I found this webpage, and it was from this well, it claimed to be from this Census Bureau or some sort of nonsense like that. And it was asking me all these personal details, apparently filling in a few things that they didn't know. What bothered me was how much they did know. They knew where I grew up, they knew my exact date of birth, they were able to piece together all but 2 digits of my social security number. I don't even know how they did that. I've never posted my social anywhere. They knew my first pet's name. They knew the name that I had picked out for a car that I was going to buy, something random that I had posted on Facebook, and it says that I listed this as a security question at some point. I don't remember doing that. I just thought if I ignored it, it would go away, but this has been going on for weeks now. Well, last night, I noticed there was this weird, shady-looking character just standing out my front porch. Not on my porch, mind you, he was down the block, but essentially just standing there. He wasn't facing my house, but he was doing that obvious number where he was looking at his cell phone and clearly using the selfie cam to get a good view. So, I mean, what do I do? He's not on my property. Technically, I can't really call the cops and just say, hey, there's a creepy guy I don't recognize. I don't want to open that can of worms, during which I would undoubtedly be asked 1,000,001 questions, which would compromise my information further, so what do? I don't know what they want. I don't know why they need this information. I mean, if it's just they're trying to steal information, they already have more than enough to try and ruin my life, so why do they want such detailed information? I don't know. This morning I got another one of those letters. Some of the information that had been missing from the previous letter I looked at had been filled in. The most disturbing of which was the address of my ex-wife and the exact information of my 2 young children. Danny and Sarah, they're 8 and 3 respectively. So I went back to my Blogspot page and I found a new article. All still written mostly in some language I'm not familiar with, but with 2 pictures of my children, with prices below their pictures.